underneath that, the condensation. So that's blowing right up into it there, the lowered cloud base here. And fortunately we can tell at this point there's not a funnel right there, but as you look at the base of the cloud there, you can see what's happening. The air is rising, and see how that little cloud, look at it, watch it just rise right up into the other cloud. So those lower clouds are called scud clouds, but that's the moisture. You see how there's little twists in there? I mean, that's the air rising and spinning as it's going up. I mean, boy, look at that closely here. That's coming right in on Dodge Street there, and that is their cameras out there about 188th, 192nd Street. Looking straight south at the storm coming on in there. So maybe from there, I don't know if we have the ability to turn that camera either west or east, but that would be helpful because it's kind of going right overhead that location. Maybe if that camera can come back the other way. That perfect right there, straight west is good for this camera. Kind of right out Dodge to get a location on where that storm is at. But it appears that lowered cloud base, that wall cloud, which may actually be starting to kind of blow out a little bit, that's some of this stuff right here. These are winds that are blowing, feeding in here, and this is the area here where you got that best rotation back behind. So this is like an initial gust front now that's blowing out into Omaha. I'm not sure if my microphone's starting to go bad or not here, but that's yours. Okay. So the winds are blowing really strong here, and that's moving fast. So if you're all the way up to about 144th Street, and you got some strong winds starting to blow in from the west here. So Millard, Boys Town, you're going to feel this. Look at that. Look at how strong these
Bill, look back to your west there, the tightening of the circulation. They're right on the Saunders County, Douglas County line.
Right. So, this is this back edge. I wonder if what's happening, though, this thing is starting to bow out.
And occlude back into
blow out stuff. So, we're watching this for possible tornado back here, but certainly out here, really strong winds are going to blow, and you may or may not be expecting it. I mean, tornado warning, but if you're here at Millard, this is 144th Street, right through here. That's where those winds are at now, crossing 144th, 132nd Street, blowing into southwest Omaha, the Oakview Mall area, all the way up to Boys Town. Those are strong southwest and west winds blowing in there. All right, so torrential rain now at the Methodist Women's Hospital as this thing has already blown up in there. Look at that. You can barely see Dodge Street. You wonder where these people are at driving around here. I mean, there's a tornado warning. You can't see anything, and there aren't many cars out there, but you wonder why there are any at all. Just hunker down and get into a safe shelter and wait for this thing to pass over. There's a tornado warning for the Omaha Metro, and it goes for another 15 minutes here, 7:30, and you cannot tell if there's a tornado in there or not. I mean, a lot of times these things will blow through and you'll get no warning if you're not paying attention. It's upon you sometimes to take some personal responsibility and make sure that those around you know what's going on. Obviously, family folks like to protect their kids and make sure that they do, but everybody has to be aware of the situation. We've had a tornado watch out for many hours, and this storm has been tracked for 4 hours, and we're saying it's coming towards the Omaha Metro, and it's here now, so now's the time to be in some safe shelter as this thing comes across the Omaha Metro area here. So here's the tornado warning. It's kind of right in the middle of it where the rotation is. Again, hopefully this is not producing a tornado. We don't know that. We can't tell with the rain that's going on. And folks really shouldn't be out looking at it unless you're, a certified, qualified storm spotter. You're in a particular post in a safe shelter and know what's going on. You should be watching this from a distance or from your basement and being inside as this storm is coming across the Omaha Metro area here. All right, so Kyle Gravlin, we put him just down south outside of the reach of the storm in Springfield. Kyle, you're looking back up to the northwest toward this storm. Give us your view.
Yeah, exactly. So what you're seeing on camera, that'd be looking northwest into this storm that's kind of moving into western Douglas County. A couple of very brief periods of heavy rain, at least at my location. No hail, some gusty winds. I would really just classify them, though, as blustery, certainly not severe strength. Looked like, from what I saw on radar anyway, just outflow from that approaching storm. Some really impressive low clouds here. Some of it, though, kind of looking what we call scud. It looks rather threatening, but most likely is not, since the main core of the storm pretty well off actually to our northwest now. It's moving there quickly to the east and northeast. Rain is picking up a little bit, a lot of lightning, so we will likely relocate here in just a couple of minutes. But Springfield, for the most part, in the clear. Looks very threatening around here. The sirens
Well, that car
outside,
checking
but,
shit out.
doing all right.
Kyle, super helpful, very nice, appreciate that. And again, Kyle, he's a little south, so in a safer location. Not to say that nothing's going to happen. Here's this other tornado warning down here, right, Holly? We got down here.
That's right. We haven't had an update on any sort of report or anything with that particular warning there, Jefferson County, Saline County.
Let's go velocity on that then and just see if we can find the couplet in here. So that's just, looks like maybe it's not quite so well defined here. West of Wilbur, so right in through there, that's the continuation of where this storm had been going here. Looks like a new
there's
warning
the
is
new
coming out
alert.
here.
Yeah, that's right. That's a new warning, Bill. A severe thunderstorm warning for Potawatomi, Douglas, Sarpy, and Washington until 8 o'clock.
So the kind of the
I live in
continuation leading edge of the
Potawatomi
storm, and of course, as we were mentioning, as it's blowing out, the winds are strong on the leading edge, so you can just see this is racing out here. So this is the new severe thunderstorm warning that goes across the rest of the Omaha Metro, including northern Sarpy County, most of Sarpy County.
And I live
all the
right
rest of Douglas
about
County, most of Washington
here.
County, eastern Washington County, and then western Potawatomi.
So I'm in
out
that
here.
box.
So there's the view. You know, pretty soon this is going to come racing in here. We're going to see the low clouds, and you know, there may be a shelf cloud with this also on the leading edge, maybe a lowered cloud. If you're, you know, over in Council Bluffs, looking back to the west toward Omaha, you might see this low cloud come racing towards you. It's not necessarily a tornado. There is a tornado warning for Douglas County, but a lot of times as the winds start blowing out, you get that long horizontal cloud that comes racing at you. That's not a wall cloud when it moves fast like that. And then those winds are right in through here, starting to race out to the east here, and back in behind is where we're concerned that maybe there's still some rotation back in through here. What's happening, the whole storm is turning back in here. Maybe there's still a tornado. Here the winds are starting to blow out to the east, and we got to watch the south edge of this thing as well, because that's where it's been trying to form. 180th and Dodge looking west, 108, 108th and Dodge. So this is the camera out at TD Ameritrade headquarters there out in the Old Mill area and looking to the west. So they're almost underneath where that low cloud has blown past. So that's the leading edge, the gusty winds starting to blow in there. So we may get where the camera really starts shaking again here, and looks like it is starting to, where the winds are starting to blow there. You know, good thunderstorm all across the Omaha Metro, heavy rain, a lot of lightning, hail in spots, very strong wind in spots, but still the possibility that a tornado is in there. So tornado warning continues primarily for this area out to the west around Elkhorn. Maybe there's some spin back in through here. This is that bow. Holly, look at these winds right in through here. So this is the radar sampling winds blowing away, greater than 41, so 41 to 50 going in towards Omaha, and these other winds are coming back the other way. Is this straight velocity?
This is straight velocity,
That's
Bill. Yeah,
incredible.
it
I mean,
is.
how often do you see the radar look like that?
Not very often where you have them both converging like that, right along a, you know, some sort of boundary outflow ahead of that storm.
You bet. So, I mean, here is a supercell thunderstorm coming over the Omaha Metro. That's why the radar looks so weird. Let's go back to just the kind of the regular reflectivity, kind of what people are most used to looking at. So this is that leading edge where the wind has blown out right through here. And then this is where you still probably have some sort of a component to rotational winds back to around Elkhorn in here. And, you know, so there's the tornado warning, this thing right here. This all is the severe thunderstorm warning, because that's where the winds are going to start racing out to the north and east in advance of the rest of this thing. And down here in Springfield, the southern part of this storm that was coming through, the strong winds eventually that made it through Ceresco and Ashland, are now going to blow into Springfield as well. So all this stuff is going to have a pretty good blow of wind, and that's what all these warnings are for. We're hopeful that maybe this is turning into like a bow echo, where the winds are going to be the dominant factor, and this won't produce a tornado over the Omaha Metro, but there's still a tornado warning. And sometimes right in here where it's twisting, that's where you can still get a tornado, even in a situation like this. And look at this leading edge where the winds are blowing in here, could spin up into this front edge as well. So let's go from that to,
That's SRV, that's storm relative velocity.
So we got, you know, winds coming in here, you know, wrapping around. Let's go back to plain old velocity. So this is just at the winds as the radar is seeing them, and this is, so from the radar here, these are winds that are blowing away from the radar. So this stuff is going out at 40 to 60, which is kind of coming into the rest of Omaha here. And then these winds in here are still blowing back in this way. So still a dangerous situation. Sometimes these leading edges things, you can get a little mini tornado and spin up real quickly. The Millard tornado was a situation like that back in 2008, where we had a storm coming in here and had some spin ups on the front side of this thing as it blew in here. So we have to watch for that possibility as well. Let's go to our cameras, because I bet you our downtown camera looking west. Here you can see. So here's
Bill,
the
we did-
cloud base.
We did have a caller that said that Matt, you passed this report along. You said it was a caller from 144th and Maple. They thought maybe that they saw a funnel cloud in that particular area. It seems a little far east, but I suppose it is a possibility, especially on the leading edge of that storm, the leading edge of that outflow, that we could have a bit of a spin up.
Sure, and depending on how far you're seeing too, you could be seeing out to where the twist is occurring up in the storm as well. So Livestock Exchange Building looking off to the west. So this is that leading edge, that gust front that's blowing in, already raining a little bit, but that's going to start shaking pretty violently too as this starts hitting it. And I'm sure we're going to hear the wind blowing through the tower here, as we always do. It's kind of a marker for us, so we can tell the winds are blowing strong. So this is downtown looking west-northwest. There's the cathedral out there. Here's the lowered cloud base off to the northwest of downtown, maybe in the direction of 144th and Maple. And you can see how it's lowered right there. And that, again, is kind of coming in over the rest of the city here. This thing has gotten a lot farther north, and hopefully maybe a little removed from the best front that was in across the area. All right, so TD Ameritrade headquarters looking off to the south here. So it's a little tilted, but again, the winds have already blown across here, and that's that lowered cloud base as it keeps on going. So it's already past there. It's already starting to reach downtown, because I can hear those winds here at 27th and Douglas Street blowing through the tower that's up here. I'm sure many people are seeing all kinds of weird clouds, stuff that's blowing on through here. Best off just to stay in shelter if you're in shelter until there's no more tornado warning. I mean, here is where the wind is blowing out. So back in through here, this is that lowered cloud base. Our camera is right here downtown. We're looking off to the northwest. That's where we're seeing that lowered cloud base. And these are winds that are blowing this direction, greater than 40 miles an hour, 40 to 60, kind of coming in through here, and these winds are feeding in the other direction. So now there's a new scan, so that shows you where the winds are at through here. There's our strongest wind. Here's the way it's kind of wrapped back in through here, and look at that, Holly.
Yeah,
This
that's
is plane
impressive.
velocity.
Yeah, this is plane velocity.
Sample this right here. This is greater than 74.
Yeah.
Out through here, so that's greater than 74 going this way, and these winds are still feeding in here.